I think the meeting was ended. Sir, are you able to see that option? You need to unmute.
Yes, madam. I'm looking for that. Otherwise, I'll take help of.
Because I think in your
Sir,
you're
I
not
think
showing as a
you left. You need to leave. You because I think by mistake you just
Yes,
click
end of
on
meeting.
yes,
end of.
end meeting. Yes, I did that. I realized later on that I clicked on that button.
But now, Shikha, we cannot see the host. If somebody is the host.
Okay, let me check. Let me call Mukesh.
Yeah. So,
Ma'am, Shikha ma'am, I think you are working from home today.
Mm-hmm.
Let me call Mukesh. He'll come here and he will make.
Okay. No problem. No problem.
Yes.
I think 27 participants are there. So we need to wait.
Ma'am, Mukesh is making you host now.
Okay, sir.
And
52 participants are there. So shall we start?
yes, I think we can. In the meanwhile, they will also join rest of the participants. We can start.
Okay, so welcome back. Good afternoon, everyone. And yesterday, after having a session on self-awareness and knowing yourself, so now we will reflect upon, and a lot of you might have attended different sessions by different trainers, by different leaders on the aspects of leadership. Right. So today we are going to have a session where we try to bring your focus how, as an academician, you can nurture your students, your fellow colleagues, your team who is reporting to you, right? And where are the situations where you need to do the hand holding, where you have to leave the situation on its own to be managed by your subordinates or by your team members. So we are going to do a lot of deliberations, lot of activities in which you will realize what kind of leadership is applicable or is favorable for a particular situation. Right. So before proceeding ahead, I would like to understand whatever sessions you have attended so far. So, what is your understanding of the concept of leadership? Yes, any one of you? Please switch on your videos because we have to do the activities. All of you need to switch on your videos. Yes. So those who have switched on the video and the others who are taking time. So what is your understanding? What do you feel leadership is? It's okay, Ramya.
Ma'am, we don't have camera facility. This is Pallavi Shindre.
Okay.
Ma'am, shall I?
And only yes, 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 please.
Ma'am, what I feel is that leaders should not be like the only persons at the top of the hierarchy. Leaders should be among the workers as well. Leaders should be among the among everyone. Like one should take initiative, and that should not be someone following them should not be based on their position or status. It should be purely based on what they are doing, what they are how they are proactive and how they do things. So
Okay.
I think leaders should be among everyone and not on the top of hierarchy alone.
Okay.
Helping the others in the group to reach the goal.
Okay. Good. Anybody else?
What I feel is they should be able to, if a particular task is assigned to a particular team, the leader should be able to evaluate the pros and cons, though may not be completely. To us, at least to a small extent, they should be able to do an analysis. Then maybe a task can be assigned to the smaller subgroups, and that what plays a major role in completing the task. That's what I feel.
Okay. Okay.
Can
Great.
Ma'am, leaders should be meant by leading the example. They
Okay.
should set these trends and examples that this is how the things could be done in a better way,
Okay.
and manage the teams as well.
Right. So can we say the leaders when we are talking about this leadership? So most of you have brought the professional or the workplace environment leadership qualities or the traits which are exhibited. Can we see it in our personal life as well?
Yes, ma'am. In personal life also, every individual is a leader, especially the head of the family member is a leader who shows the perfect way or necessary way to develop his family.
Okay.
Like that, this for every family there will be a one leader, and mostly he or she is a head of that family.
Okay. So at one point of time, somebody is acting as a leader, and another point of time, the other person is acting as a leader in a family, right? So, but when
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. I have to add something.
yes, Komal.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, leadership is something which is not connected with your designation or your position or your age. It is something different from that. What I believe that leadership is the quality of a person that make him to lead, and the other person just follow him or her. So leadership is the it depends on the quality of leading a person, that how cooperative you are, how managing, how good you are at managing people.
Okay.
So I believe in it.
Okay.
That
Thank you.
leadership is not something which is related to the position or the age. It's different from that.
Okay, absolutely correct. Achla has also written that leader should be one who can handle everyone without injecting a competitive mind only. Absolutely correct, Achla. You are on the right path. Then Dr. Siva, what do you feel leadership
Yes.
is?
Good afternoon, everyone.
Yeah.
Leaders, yeah, leader should be like a father
Okay.
in a house. If any duck is moving forward, other can follow. Then only the leader can success. So that is my point.
Okay. Okay. Yes. See, everybody has their own perspective. When we talk about this
Yes,
term of leadership, right? We all know
yes,
that everybody perception is different. We cannot say that Dr. Siva is correct, Dr. Anil is wrong, Surbi is right. No, everybody has their own way of interpreting a lot of these terms like leadership, team building, the way we look at things. So all everybody's perception and perspective changes. Right? That's why we study these concepts at the individual level. We never study them at the group level because individual preferences, individual perceptions, attitudes, values, they all differ. So we have to deal it at an individual level. Now, to make it more elaborate, what leadership is, what is how I see leadership as, it's a ship, right? It's a ship which is being led by an individual, and he or she sails or take the people on that ship in a particular direction and tell them which way is correct, which way is right, and steer the ship towards the path of success. That is what a leadership is, right? He's a person who is leading a ship and taking his or her team in a right direction, showing them, advising them, monitoring them, providing them support, and taking it in a direction which he or she feels is appropriate for the entire organization or for that particular ship, right? So it's the way by which they are influencing the people who are with them, and they are moving towards a particular accomplishment of objectives of their respective departments and the organization as a whole. That is what a leadership is. You might have heard of lot of there are different styles of leadership, like the transactional leadership, transformational leadership, charismatic leadership. So every type, every all of these types have got distinct traits, right? There is always a debate. So there are two schools of thoughts. One school of thought says that leaders are born, not made, right? And the another school of thought always says it is not necessary that leaders are born, but we can mold the behavior of individuals and turn them into leaders, right? So there are two schools of thought. It depends to which school of thought you give your preference or vote to, right? So many of the psychologists, many of the management professionals, they belong to the either of these two schools of thought, right? So some of you might be thinking that leaders are born and not made. I also feel that the leaders have certain traits or certain characteristics which are exhibited right from the beginning and which differentiates them from the other individuals which are there in their surrounding, and that makes them, that clearly distinguish them as the leader among the whole crowd, right? Yes, there are certain people. As yesterday we have done the Johari window. In Johari window, we have seen that there are certain traits which are hidden, right? And given an opportunity, when that person expresses that hidden trait, then we come to know that XYZ possesses leadership qualities as well. And if given a proper training and proper shaping, we can mold him into an effective leader, right? Many times we use this term efficiency and effectiveness. doing the right things, right? So I wanted to understand what is the difference between efficiency and effectiveness? How do you differentiate between efficiency and effectiveness? Any one of you? How do you make a differentiation between whether a person is efficient, whether that person is effective? Any one of you? Komal, can we hear something from you?
Efficiency is efficiency is basically about how well he is able or he or she is able to complete something. And effectiveness, what I feel is even if the particular person is not able to complete some or do something, they will be able to provide some advice or make an effect on some other person. That's what I feel.
Okay. Okay. Right. Any other perspective? Okay, Gitu, just tell me, how do you calculate the efficiency of an individual?
Efficiency, maybe this leadership also is a calculation for measuring this efficiency. Maybe I'm
How
not
do
sure.
we calculate efficiency of anything?
Yes, we can calculate when how much resources are involved, how much time is involved, how much effort is involved. We can do with minimum resources or with minimum time. That is called efficiency.
Okay.
Ma'am,
Yes.
shall I?
Yes, Rishi, yes.
Ma'am, what I think is, like, school, the classroom teacher is giving notes and student is asked the question in the examination. So if the student is writing the thing that the teacher gave it the note, effectiveness.
Okay.
And if he or she is writing, uh, writing things in the best way, or maybe improvising and everything, then it is an efficient way.
Okay. Okay. Then somebody has raised hand. Jagitishwari.
Yes, ma'am. Good afternoon, ma'am. Actually, efficiency can be calculated by completing the task within the time and the level of the success also.
Sorry?
Level of the success.
Okay.
So what is the task? The task is very difficult one of the and if a person is completing within the time period and with a good manner, that means with some creativity or some extra things has been done in the same work, then that can be calculated as efficiency.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much. And to put it in simple words, right? Let's not put those management terms which we are used to. The way, how do we calculate the efficiency is the ratio of output to input, right? How much resources we are using, and out of those resources, what output we are producing. That is what the efficiency is, right? Effectiveness is how I am utilizing those resources which are apt and which are in demand and which are according to the environment and the situation. That is what the effectiveness is. One is utilization of resources and producing the output, that is efficiency. Effectiveness is whether I'm utilizing those resources at right places. That has to be checked upon. So that is what the effectiveness is. For example, let's take one example. You are into the manufacturing of two types of cars, right? One is a 2-box car, another is a 3-box car. 2-box means without separate storage compartment. 3-box means when we have a bonnet, sitting area, and then we have a separate storage compartment, right? So that is a 3-box car. So right now, when you are looking at your efficiency, in a 2-box car, you are able to produce 3 cars per day, right? And a 3-box car, you are able to produce 2 cars per day. So that is what the efficiency of these two segments. Now looking at the external environment, and when some research or some analysis is done with respect to the demand of these segments of car, you find out or you come to the conclusion that 3-box cars are in more demand currently, right? And you need to increase the production of the 3-box car. So what, as a manager, what as a person who is taking care of the production schedules and the targets, they have to become effective in a sense that they can utilize the resources which are being used in the 2-box segment car to the 3-box segment car, and reducing the production of 2-box car to 1 car per day, and increasing the production of 3-box car by 4 cars per day. So you have effectively utilized your resources as per the requirement of the external environment. That is what effectiveness is. Now, is that clear to all of you? Right, so the utilization of your resources at right places. Yes, Dr. Anil, you wanted to speak something?
No.
Okay. So let me just share the screen and then we will proceed with the session for today. Are you able to see?
Yeah. Madam, sorry, can you just adjust your mic because yours is comparatively low when compared to others' voice.
Just a moment. Just a moment. Let me see. Let me see. Am I audible now?
Yes, ma'am.
Now is it clear?
No, ma'am, it's breaking, ma'am. Voice is breaking.
Voice is breaking for everyone? Or is it
No,
only
no, it's clear. It's clear.
Okay, clear.
Now it's clear, ma'am. Now
Okay.
it's clear.
Okay, so you can all of you can see my screen right now.
Yes, yes.
Yes, ma'am.
So let me just share, do it into the screen in the slideshow mode. Yes. So we have understood the what is leadership. As you can see into this picture, there are two refined leaders who have made legacy into the Indian industries. One is Mr. Anyone of
Dhirubhai
you?
Ambani.
Ambani.
And second one is
Ratan Tata.
Ratan Tata.
yes, which is JRD Tata and the Dhirubhai Ambani. They are respective leaders of their respective industries, and they have never been taught these sessions on management or leadership. They have built their legacy on their own. That's why their examples are always taken whenever the sessions on leaderships are being taken. So the act of making an impact on others or influencing others to move in a desired direction. That is what the leadership is, right? If you look at Dhirubhai Ambani, how he has built his entire empire, right, from his where he has the Reliance Industries, how he built everything right from the scratch with minimum of his resources and the capital or the fund with him, and how he has diversified into different areas, right? Reliance Digital, then we have Reliance Communications, a lot of things they have diversified into. But he has made it a point that he will definitely send his kids, his sons, to a management school to understand the nitty gritties, and they should not make those mistakes which he would have done in the earlier stages of setting up of business. So he has ensured that they should go to a formal school and get trained themselves into the area of management. Now, how important is a leader? Right? In most of the cases, we have seen that all of you as an individual, you perform at about 60% of your potential with no leadership at all, right? Even if no leadership is provided to you, you can give your or utilize your capability up to 60%. But when you get an effective leadership, when you get the right guidance, when you are being motivated for that, you shed out and you utilize your rest 40% as well. So there is an important role of a leader when we are working in any work environment. You can see in this graph, right? So I have depicted that 60%, as you can see here, the 60% is the default contribution by an individual. It may be due to need for a job, it may be due to peer pressure, many other factors. So you are able to deliver 60% of your capability. But when you are contributing 40% rest of your capability, that is because of the leadership ability of a manager. you have been given the right guidance and you are able to utilize the opportunities into the right way. So it's the role of a leader is very, very important, whether we are talking about the academic institution, whether we are talking about any kind of industry. Now to move further, all of you have a leadership role, how the leadership role is there into the academic institutions and the teachers or the faculty, right? So when we look at the academic institutions, they have a role in developing in the skilled manpower for the country, right? In a way, they are building the skilled manpower for the country, right? But the teachers who build this nation, the teachers are the backbone, right? The teachers, they have to identify, they need to work with all major stakeholders, right? So you as a teacher, you as a student, some of the students, you need to work with your colleagues, external environment, that includes your parents, peers, social circle, media, sectoral and external environment, right? So you need to see who all are there in your vicinity and how as a teachers you are acting as a backbone of your respective organizations, where you are acting as a teacher, you are making a learner, you are grooming a student, you are showing them the correct path, you are interacting with the colleagues, you are working together to make successful projects, or you are doing a collaborative work for maybe for the accreditation process. Then how you are interacting with your external environments with respect to the parents, the peers, the social circle, media, sectoral and the external environment. Now, when we talk about the leadership role of the teachers, right? So it happens only when the teachers are imparting effective learning, right? When the faculty is doing lot of reflective thinking with their students, you have to create that environment, right? And you are creating that kind of generation which is taking care of the leadership role of your future generation. You act as an agent of change and your transformation into the education system when you teach them the innovative ways of selecting, innovative ways of choosing the practices, and tell them and guide them what is actually required and what kind of things they have to be equipped with, right? You organize a lot of training sessions for them, you find out where are the gaps and you capacitate them in those areas, right? So they need to provoke you need to provoke a critical thinking, creativity and reflective action in your students, right? You need to inculcate, as you might have done a session on critical thinking, this is one of the life skills. You need to make your students ponder and inculcate the element of critical thinking, right? So that is what the leadership role of teachers is. Now look at these core values, 12 core values of teaching profession. All of you should see this, those who are from the academia. These are all our values into the teaching profession. We trust, we are honest and fair. We need to give the commitment to mold the younger generation. We command respect. We are efficient, effective. We have a way of tolerating things, equality, integrity, tolerance, service, then the service to the public, responsiveness, that is students, the government, the public sector, accountability. So these are the 12 core values of a teaching profession, right? And this particular table which you are looking at, that has been adapted from the General Teaching Council of Northern Ireland, and they have identified that these values have to be possessed by the teachers when they are into the academic world. Now let's do one activity, Right. So to proceed, before proceeding ahead, let me just, what is the activity? I'll just tell you about it. Right. I will make different groups and I will provide you certain statements. Right. You need to take a screenshot of what I am providing you as the statements, and then I will make you or break you out into different rooms. Now, when you are conversing with your group members, right, you will have to identify which statement belongs to the manager category and which statement belongs to the leaders category, right? So before proceeding ahead, let me just stop share and let me tell you how I will break you out into the rooms. Listen very carefully. I will make the breakout rooms, right? You will get a notification on your window, join the breakout rooms, right? You have to accept that. You have to click OK. So you will be taken to your respective breakout rooms, right? So when you go to your break, before going to your breakout rooms, I am showing you one slide. All of you need to take a screenshot of that slide, right? Take a screenshot of that slide and discuss with your team members, make a table, right? And identify which statement falls into the manager category and which statement is falling into the leaders category. This, why we are doing this activity, because it is very important to understand when we have to manage the affairs and when we have to lead certain things at the workplace. Is that clear to all of you?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, so I will first show you the statements. Take the screenshot of that statement. Let me show it to you. Can you see my screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Yes, ma'am.
activity manager or leader.
Yeah. So I'll just moving it to the next slide. Now can you see? Please take a screenshot of this screen.
Okay, ma'am.
Done?
Done.
Okay, so now I will make the different breakout rooms, right? I will do it automatically. I'll make, how many rooms should I make? Okay, I'm making 12 rooms. In each room, there will be 6 to 7 participants, right? And remember, when I end the rooms, automatically you will come back to this common room, right? And then we will do the entire discussion. Right, so I am creating the rooms. When the moment I click on create rooms, you will get the notification on your window that you have to join breakout room number 1, 2, 3, 4. Right, so I'm just clicking on that. The invitation has been sent to all of you. Start joining your rooms. Vijay, are you there? शिखा आप हो क्या इसमें?
हाँ हाँ मैं हूँ, बताओ।
आउट रूम 2 में कोई भी ज्वाइन नहीं किया है. So I have shifted ना, जैसे एक एक दो कोई था तो I have shifted them to another room.
ठीक है, डन डन डन.
2 वाला inactive है, बाकी सब में हैं members.
ओके.
बाकी जो यहाँ पे हैं, those who are in the common room, I think they are not active. They are just logged in into the session.
फाइन.
है ना? Let me just join some of the rooms and see. There are 5 unassigned participants. Okay.
They must have joined now, so that's why.
Let me assign. 11, 12, 8. I'll just broadcast the message. Last 4 minutes. Last 2 minutes. All of you are back?
Yes, back.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
I think you might have felt that the exercise, that it has really utilized your concepts which you have learned earlier, right? And what is your understanding, how you are segregating the statements with respect to the managers, with respect to the leaders, right?
Yes,
I
ma'am.
think,
Are you able to talk with each other?
yes, at least it has given you an opportunity to talk with each other. Yes, Komal, you are sharing something?
Yes, ma'am. I had shared the assignment you had given to us.
I am not able to see because, okay.
Now you are able to see?
Yeah, now I can see it. You have written.
So it's one is written for manager, and for the leaders we have left it out because it's very small space to write two. So where we have write one, our team, please team members, please support me.
Yes,
to
yes,
explain
Komal.
them. So we are in the lead.
Bit messy,
So
ma'am, we can answer it. I mean,
Okay.
like the
Yes,
one
ma'am.
is quite long, so we can answer it. We have discussed it amongst ourselves.
Okay.
Scheduling
So
work.
that we can do.
Right. So I'll show, just stop the.
Sharing a vision for leader. Okay, ma'am.
Komal, just stop screen sharing. I'll show
Done.
the categorization of managers versus leaders. So you can match your answers. All of you
Okay,
can
ma'am.
match your answers.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Done, ma'am. I stop sharing, ma'am. You just share your screen.
Yeah. I'll just share this is the table, the statements which I have given to all of you, right? Now
Yes,
let's
ma'am.
make
Yes, ma'am.
categorization. Let me just move to the next slide. Can you see now?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
For the manager category, right? So check for all of you, for each team. For manager, scheduling the work, delegating tasks, use analytical data to support recommendations, motivating the staff, ensuring predictability, coordinating the efforts, coordinating resources, giving orders and instructions, guide the progress, monitor progress, check task completion, follow systems and procedures, monitor budgets, tasks, etc., use analytical data to forecast trends, monitoring progress, appeal to rational thinking, build teams, right? And when we compare it with the leaders segregation, a leader is someone who is providing feedback on performance, act as an interface between the team and outside, plan and prioritize steps to task achievement, explain the goals, the plans, and the roles, inspiring the people, appeal to people's emotions, sharing a vision, provide focus, monitor feelings and morale, create a culture, create a positive team feeling, ensure effective induction, provide development opportunities, unleashing the potential, look over the horizon, take risks, be a good role model. Now, can you see it and compare it with yourself? Except 2 or 3 statements, most of you might be able to segregate the managers versus the leaders' role, activities.
True, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Divya ma'am, I think it was in my team. I entered late, and there was Dr. Shraddha and me, and the rest were
yes,
actually not this thing. But only both of us, more or less, we decided on the same, except for the planning and prioritize. We had put it in the managers this thing.
Okay. Yes, that's what.
Yes.
There are few. There is a very slight demarcation
Difference, right.
between these two roles, because we get often confused whether we have to manage it, whether we have to lead it.
Yes.
Right? So there are a thin line of differentiation.
Absolutely.
So certain activities, some are very clear cut. What
Very
manager
much,
is supposed to
yes.
do and what leader is supposed to do.
Right.
But there are few activities which are overlapping. You have to look at the situation and accordingly to assume that role as a manager or as a leader.
Right.
Right. I think this activity has given an opportunity where all of you were able to, in your respective teams, you were able to converse with each other. Right. You were able
Yes,
to.
good opportunity, ma'am.
A good opportunity, right? So when you do these activities more, you know more and more about the other participants also, and you start working towards the assigned task which has been given into the team. I think the group team breakout room number 2 was not active. People have not joined, and some were there. Only 1 or 2 participants were there. I just shifted them to some other room because none of the other participants were active in those rooms. I think Dr. Eka Prabhakar also, when I entered.
Yeah, I was alone.
Yes, he was all alone. So were you able to do it alone?
Yeah, I completed, except that I have put this plan and prioritize step manager.
Right.
And then there is something appeal to people's emotions under the manager. So,
Right.
but yeah, so
Right. So all of you have from this exercise, yes.
Whether motivating staff is under managerial skill or leadership skill?
See,
Motivating staff.
when you are dealing with your team members, right? When you are acting as the manager, it's the responsibility of the manager, right? To motivate their people who are working in their respective teams. Leader is a big role which will motivate others, will show the way, will give that support. But to motivate them, to take them into the right way, that is what the manager will help them into. Right? So they will be motivating their staff who are working with them. But a leader, while motivating, he is also giving a support to the people, to the entire team. Because
So
manager
leader inspires.
Sorry?
Leader inspires.
Leader inspires.
Okay, that motivation also will get under leadership
by
skill.
the manager. The motivational aspects will be taken care by the manager. Otherwise, what will happen into the organization? All of the people will become the leaders. right? Rather than managing the affairs. See, a leader sometimes has to be a manager, sometimes he has to be an administrator, and sometimes he has to assume a role of a leader. We cannot say XYZ is a leader for every situation. Sometimes that's why we have made a clear demarcation between an administrative role, managerial role, and leadership roles. You need to see which situation requires which mode, whether into the manager mode, whether into the leadership role or into the administrative role. When you are supposed to implement certain policies into the organization, you are into the administrative role. No deviations administratively. The way it has been given to you, it has to be followed as it is, right? So that is an administrative role, right? Manager is when you are looking at your resources, right? And you are effectively utilizing them. A leader is somebody who is showing what we are capable of and how we have to reach that height or at that level. Right? Is that clear to all of you?
Thank you, ma'am.
Right, so this activity has given you an insight of manager versus leaders. So let me just proceed ahead to the next part. Can you see my screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
Yes,
so now we
ma'am.
are moving ahead. Now there are situations where leaders may not have much role. What are those three conditions, three situations? When first is when the followers are experts and they are self-leaders. They know in which direction to go. They are very clear in their assigned responsibility. Second, when the task is very clear and the task is of the routine in nature. Third, the organizational rules and policies are clearly laid out. So you can see if you apply it to yourself, right? In a particular situation, sometimes you do not require leaders. Everybody is very clear. The task is of the routine nature. You are expert into that domain. You are following the rules and policies. For example, when I ask XYZ among the participants to take classes for undergraduates or postgraduates into the area of principles of management or human resource management, marketing management, financial management. Here, the teacher does not require any instruction. Everything is clearly laid out in terms of, when your sessions are scheduled, how you are supposed to be prepared for your respective subjects or the title or the session's topic, how you are supposed to interact with your students, how you have to make your sessions more engaging and interesting. You need not take nobody should counsel you in those areas. Am I sounding something true to all of you?
Yes,
Right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Yes.
There are
yes, ma'am.
situations where the leaders are, where they doesn't have much role. People are all clear about their responsibilities. Now, very famous, you must have heard of Daniel Goleman. He has extensively worked into the area of emotional intelligence, and he has also worked into the area of leadership, where he said that there are 6 styles of leadership. As you can see into this picture, right? The first style given by Daniel Goleman is of commanding, and the picture which is depicting is Napoleon Bonaparte. The commanding style is to demand immediate compliance to orders. Sometimes you become commanding. So you want the immediate compliance to your orders. They have the do what I tell you approach, right? For examples, when you are taking your sessions into the class, into the online mode, right? You are into the commanding position and you ask the students to do whatever you are conveying them, right? And what is their approach? Whatever ma'am or sir is saying, we are supposed to carry it out. So you are into the commanding position at that particular time. So this form of leadership style, it suits best in a situation of crisis or when we are into the war ground, right? The situation will work best when you are facing some crisis, right? You are not aware about certain things, right? You need a person who should command and show you the way how things have to be moved forward, right? For example, let's take the example when the entire country was under the grip of COVID-19 virus, the government assumed the commanding position, and immediately there was a lockdown which was declared throughout the nation, and everybody had to comply with. Am I correct?
Yes.
This is
Yes,
what
yes.
the commanding style is. Now, the second style of leadership is visionary. Who you can see into this picture? Who is this famous personality?
Nelson
Nelson
Mandela.
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 Nelson Mandela, right? So whenever we are, the Daniel Goleman, when he has talked about a concept of leadership where the type of leadership is visionary. So visionary means they look at mobilizing the people towards a single goal and vision, right? He was working towards which noble cause?
Apartheid movement.
Yes, right?
The black race.
Yes, so he was fighting that towards, and he has shown that goal and that vision to his fellow people as well. He has a clear come with me approach for achieving his organizational goals. When you are visualizing something and you are showing the same vision to the people who are behind you. So a visionary leadership style works best when a change is required or when working towards a clear direction. For example, let's take an example over here where when all the banks were being asked by RBI to do the computerization of their banking system, right? Because that decision was taken because ultimately we need to take the help of the technology, and it eases out various hazards and paperwork formalities for the banking operations. So it has shown that vision to the people who are into the banking domain, and to ease out the people who are not accepting this new change, they have given an option that either you accept it or you are given an option of voluntary VRS, right? VRS is voluntary retirement scheme by the government. So those who have opted to stay into the system of banking domain, they were being capacitated and full support was provided to them to capacitate to make them friendly with the usage of computers for the banking services, right?
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am, I have one doubt.
Yes.
Father of nation Mahatma Gandhi is falling in this category? Or
Yes, he will fall into the category of visionary where he has shown that we want to accomplish the freedom.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Yeah. Now, the third style of leadership is affiliative. Affiliative means the word itself says affiliation, creating harmony and building the emotional bonds. So when you have that philosophy, people comes first philosophy. So during this second wave, when your family members and your teammates were under the grip of this virus, many of your principals and directors, they have shown that concern and they have asked for the well-being of yourself and your family members because they believe that at this moment I have to be into this particular mode. My people should be taken care of first. That is a people come first philosophy. This form works best to heal the rifts in a team or when they need to motivate people during the stressful circumstances. So when you were into the COVID situation, all of you were into the stressful positions. So all you need is somebody who has to show that empathy and emotional bonding with you. So a leader has to take the affiliative style. Somebody is no more in your family, and you will, as a leader, you need to show that kind of empathy towards that particular team member. Fourth style of leadership is democratic, right? Forging consent.
Ma'am, can Mother Teresa fall in this category, affiliative?
See, Mother Teresa would fall into it. It is a situation based, right? Sometimes she was very affiliative. Sometimes she was a visionary also, where she wanted to eliminate a disease, right? She wanted to provide the comfort to the people who were suffering from this disease. right? So she was a visionary, sometimes she was affiliative, sometimes, right? So it is not that everybody, like what the previous participant also asked, the Mahatma Gandhi will fall into the visionary category. See, the great Mahatma Gandhi, he has always looked at the situation, and then he has assumed that kind of role which is apt for that situation, right? And
That means in one leader there can be different combination of the styles we can
yes,
found.
yes. We cannot say that affiliative style of leadership is going to be successful in all situations. Leadership is always situation based. I cannot be commanding at all times. I cannot be democratic at all times. I need to look at the situation and then choose my style. Look at my style. Right? Is that clear?
Yes, ma'am. Yes. Thank you.
Right now, the fourth style of leadership, according to Daniel Goleman, is democratic. So, forging the consensus through participation. When we are involving the people in participation and they are involved into the decision-making process. What do you think approach to reach the targets? How do they feel? What is the best way to accomplish the goal? That is what a democratic style is. Right? So this style works best in getting the best inputs from employees and take the entire team together while working towards a common goal. Suppose you are facing some challenge in executing a project or executing any kind of accreditation process in your academic institution, right? You will immediately call for a meeting, you will assume the democratic style, and you will look for the rectification of how we will overcome that particular challenge while filing for the accreditation process. So you are looking for that kind of consensus from the majority of the people who are working with you. Now, the fifth style is the coaching. Coaching means you are developing people's future. They believe and they encourage, try this approach, right? You might be comfortable, suppose most of you might be comfortable in their respective domains, right? And if I ask you, suppose you are from the financial domain or you are from the marketing domain, and I ask you, can you take a module on human resource management or strategic management? Right, so I will ask you to give it a try. I am coaching you towards an area where I feel if you work properly, you can bring wonders into that particular area. So in this style, emotional competencies lie in developing others. They are empathetic, they are self-aware leaders. Right? So such type of leaders, they help employees in improving their performance and develop long-term strengths. There are certain categories of employees who loses interest after doing the same repetitive task for a year, for 2 years into the same domain. So they are looking for that kind of challenge which should be given by a leader to them, and they should experiment with that particular challenge. So a leader sometimes has to become a coach, coaching into the right direction. And finally, the pace setting style of leadership. That means setting the high standards for the performance. Do as I do now. You need to set it as a precedent, show it to them, exhibit it to them, and tell them this is how things have to be carried out. The gentleman into this particular style, why I have chosen Dr. Devi Shetty into this particular style, because he has been known when he has set up a center for taking care of the cardiac issues of the community people, the people who are not able to bear the cost of the operations or the surgeries with respect to the heart. He has minimized the cost of getting operated for these heart surgeries. Right? I hope all of you are aware about his accomplishment and the way he has developed the model for his own set of hospitals, that is the Narayana hospitals. Right? So this style will work best when they need to get quick results. When you are looking at the quick results, you need to show people how things have to be done, and they have to do it the way you are doing it yourself. You have to set it as a benchmark for them. So that is what a pace setting style of leadership is. Now, moving on to the very famous model, which many of the management trainers, the corporate trainers, the companies, they are following and they are guiding the people who are at the middle level of the management how to use this situational leadership theory being given by Hershey and Blanchard. Right? So Hershey and Blanchard has given two types of behavior of a leader, where the leader is either task oriented, that means he is more concerned about the task accomplishment, or he or she might be relationship oriented, that means they are concerned about their team members, they are giving the support to their team members. Now looking at this graph, when you look at this particular table, right, on the orange quadrant, right, we will start with S1 first. That is the purple one or the mauve quadrant which you can see, right? This is the quadrant where the leader behavior towards the task is very high, right? And his orientation towards the relationship is quite low. He's more task oriented, right? So this is the quadrant where he will be telling people, telling mode. He is into the telling mode and he will provide specific instructions and closely supervise their performance. That is what the telling mode is. Now from telling mode, if you can see, he will gradually move to the selling mode, where his orientation towards the relationship and towards the task will be, both will be on the higher side. So now at the selling quadrant, he will explain decisions and provide the opportunity for clarification, why he or she has taken that step, why he has utilized those resources. So he will sell his ideas to his followers. Now moving on to the third quadrant, where they become more towards their employees, to their team members. So relationship behavior is quite high, but the task behavior is quite low. So they want to get the ideas out of their people. They want people to participate. So here the style of the leadership would be participating, share ideas and facilitate in decision making. Right? So the fourth quadrant, the S4, which is the orange quadrant, here both the components you can see is low, the relationship as well as the task. So here he knows his team is equipped and he will delegate the task to them. Turn over the responsibility for decisions and implementation. This is your domain. You have to take decision on your own and start implementing it. So he will just do the delegation part. Right? He knows the once you have delegated, it will be accomplished by their team members. So here you have to see which style will work best for which situation and how slowly and gradually you need to monitor, and you need to see how you need to share their participation, when you have to leave them on their own. That is what laissez-faire leadership is. So here you can see at the below, at the bottommost part of the table, the follower readiness. Right? When we talk about the follower readiness, when you are telling them at that particular moment, they take it to their heart and their readiness to follow the leader is quite low. Right? And slowly and gradually, the moment we go from S1 to S2 to S3 to S4, their readiness becomes more and more and more. Right? From low to moderate to high. From leader directed, it becomes the follower directed. So there is a complete transformation from one quadrant to the another quadrant, and the followerness of, or the follower readiness also increases when we transition ourselves from one quadrant to another quadrant. Is that clear to all of you, this particular chart?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Right, so this chart is clear. When this chart is clear in your mind, you need to see the development level of your team as well, how much equipped they are. Accordingly, provide them the support, provide them the direction, give them the instructions, involve them into the decision making process, and make them competent enough to carry out tasks on their own. So So that is what this particular chart talks about. Now let's do one test. It's a leadership style test. Right now, I will be giving you certain statements. I will be providing the PDF of the test to Shikha ma'am. Right, she will be forwarding it to your WhatsApp account. Right, to your WhatsApp group. You have your groups on the WhatsApp.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Right,
ma'am.
for each of these statements.
Yes, ma'am.
You have to circle the number that indicates the degree to which you agree or disagree, right? And always remember, there are no right or wrong answers. You need to give your immediate impressions. So from 1 to 5, you need to rank your statements, right? Strongly disagree, agree, neutral, agree, strongly agree, right? So just a moment.
Can we write the number, ma'am?
Can we?
Write the number. Agree, disagree. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yes, why not? Why not?
Okay.
Right. So I'm just forwarding that particular questionnaire, which all of you are supposed to do. I'm forwarding it to Shikha ma'am. Shikha, are you there?
Yeah, ma'am, I'm here.
Okay, I'm just forwarding it to you. Right. You forward it into their groups and take. There are, I think, 8 to 10 statements are there. Let me just forward it.
Received.
Okay, please share it with them.
Mhm.
You can take another 10 minutes to fill it up. It's 4:10. At 4:20, we will all assemble. Read the instructions which I have given over there. Write down your answers for each statement and then how you have to do the scoring also, that is being mentioned in the document.
So we have to leave and rejoin.
Sorry?
No, no, no. Be here, sir. Be here.
Okay.
He's
You
asking
have to
whether
no, you have, all of you need to stay here, right? Just check your WhatsApp group.
I have already shared. Kindly check that WhatsApp group.
WhatsApp group, open it, mark your answers on your sheets, do the scoring, and then we will discuss.
And one is highly agreed or highly disagreed.
Disagree.
Disagree.
I'll show you. Let me share that screen
Can-
also.
please.
I'll show that screen.
Yeah.
Can you see? Strongly disagree.
Oh, yes, ma'am. Strongly disagree. Disagree. Neutral. Agree. Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Ma'am, no paper has been received on WhatsApp group.
Yeah, we received. We have received.
Have you shared?
Yeah,
Received.
yes, it is
Yes,
there.
it has received. We have received.
On WhatsApp group?
Yes,
Yeah,
WhatsApp.
WhatsApp.
Yeah.
Yes, it has come. So, ma'am, we have
FDP
received. ma'am.
WhatsApp group.
It is there now. Just log into your FDP WhatsApp group.
If you haven't received, just wait for 2 minutes. I'll just send across through chat box also.
Received. We have received in group.
Okay, we can do it into the chat window also, right? Should I share it here?
I'm just going to
Okay,
share,
now.
ma'am.
Yes,
Just-
okay.
Received, ma'am. Received. Thank you so much.
Okay, fine.
Ma'am, where to mark responses?
On your separate sheet, just write down for statement 1 what you have written, statement 2. I think there are 18 statements.
Okay, ma'am.
Right? So write on
Yes,
your
ma'am.
paper and then do the scoring.
Okay. 1 hour. Okay, ma'am.
So Shikha ma'am has already shared it on the chat window also. Those who have not received, they can download it from the chat window. You need not write your answers over here. We will talk about the interpretation. All of you have done?
Just 2 minutes, ma'am. We're just
Okay, sure, please. What happened? Dr. Eka Prabhakar?
Done, ma'am.
Done. All of you have done?
Yes, ma'am.
Why? Somebody has written. Sarita ji, you have written why?
Maybe she wants to write yes.
Okay.
Done, ma'am. Done.
Thank you. Thank you. So all of you have, yes, you have received the score. 15, somebody has received 15, 24, 25. All of you have got respective scores. So now look at the interpretation of the scores. I will just share the screen. Now, when this questionnaire was designed, it was designed by keeping in mind that we have to see what are the three common styles of leadership, that is the authoritarian, democratic, and the laissez-faire. And by comparing your scores, you can determine which styles are most dominant in you and least dominant in your own style of leadership. So if your score is between 26 to 30 for any one style of leadership, that means you are in the very high range of that kind of leadership style. And if your score is between 21 to 25, you are high in the higher range. If it is between 21 to 25. If your score is between 16 to 20, right? So you are into the moderate range in that style of leadership. And if it is between 11 to 15, you are into the low range. But if your score is between 6 to 10, you are in the very low range. Is anybody who has scored between 6 to 10? Somebody has written into the chat window. Yes, 20, 25, 22, 25. Some of the components are same, whether we are talking about the laissez-faire or the democratic style. Some people are dominant in the autocratic style, authoritarian style, right? These are the different, there is nothing right or wrong, right? These are all your styles of leadership which you have exhibited in different situations, right? So you have come to know that in which styles you are more dominant, in which styles you are at the moderate range, in which styles you are at the lower range, right? There might be some people who might be scoring, who might have scored between 6 to 10 for laissez-faire. So such people believe that there is very less situation, there are very less number of opportunities in which I can leave the things on the people to be managed by themselves, right? So they believe more on the democratic style, and maybe they feel more about the authoritative style. Am I correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Right, so there is nothing right or
Yes.
wrong in that. It's your way how you are dealing for different situations, in which situations you are authoritative or you are in an autocratic mode, in which situations you become more dominant or you become democratic, you adopt a democratic style. And sometimes you feel there are certain situations where my teammates can do on their own, that is the laissez-faire style of leadership. Let the people do on their own, right? I know they are responsible, they will accomplish it, right? So everybody has got different scores, and that has given you an insight which style is more dominant, which is least in your personality, right? Is that clear? So today this
Yes, ma'am.
test has given you that kind of revelation, right? And Dr. Eka is also, Prabhakar is also saying, yes, it has to be situation based. That's why your scores have also varied. You have looked at the situation, right? So you have accordingly marked strongly agree, disagree, somewhat agree, right? So you have marked it according to the different situations. That's why your style has
Ma'am,
also shown.
Madam, your
ma'am,
voice is very low.
voice, yes, voice is very low, ma'am.
Can you hear? Is it clear now?
Yeah, now it's clear.
Clear now. Yes,
Is
yes.
it? I'm saying that Dr. Prabhakar has written that it is on the basis of the situation. Yes, it is on the basis of the situation only. Your leadership styles will vary. Sometimes you become authoritative, sometimes you become laissez-faire, sometimes you become democratic. So that is your interpretation, which situation you take in which stride, and accordingly which style of leadership you are choosing for yourself, right? So you have
Ma'am,
to. Yes.
what about the last leadership, ma'am? A bit confused in last.
The laissez-faire?
Yeah, yes, ma'am.
The laissez-faire means you leave the tasks for your team members to be carried out on their own, right? You feel that they are very responsible, they understand their responsibilities. You assign, you delegate the task to them, and they will accomplish it. That is what laissez-faire style of leadership is.
French word, ma'am. Laissez-faire.
Yes, sir. It's a
Free trade economy.
yeah, it's free trade economy.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, so let's move ahead. We have understood our leadership styles now. All of us has understood in different situations. We are adopting different leadership styles. Now there is a statement which I'm showing it to all of you. We cannot become what we want to be by remaining what we are. We can only change our life if we are brave enough to be out of our comfort zone. Because the first step to change in your circumstances is a change from within you. Do you agree?
Yes, ma'am.
Strongly agree.
Strongly
Yes.
agree.
Very much.
Right?
True, ma'am.
Because if you are not experimenting with something new into your life become monotonous. You lose your interest into the routine work. You are looking always, you want yourself to be given some challenging task, and you should push yourself to for the comfort zone. You have to come out of your comfort. Let's see what is this comfort zone means. It is the term comfort zone was coined by Alasdair White, right? He was a business management theorist, and he has coined this term in year 2009. What he said, a comfort zone is a psychological state in which things feel familiar to a person and they are at ease.
ஹலோ நான் துணி காய போடணும் இருங்க அப்புறம் நான் முடிக்கிறேன்.
Can you please mute your mic, Dr. Lalita? Yeah. So a comfort zone is a psychological state in which things feel familiar to a person and they are at ease and in control of their environment, experiencing low levels of anxiety and stress. So you are at ease and you have low levels of anxiety. That is what the comfort zone is, right? And when you are into this comfort zone, right, you will always give a steady level of performance, jo ki it will remain at the same level, right? You will always give that steady level of performance, right? So if you are looking for improvement in your performances, or if you want to acquire any new skills, you need to break out, or you have to come out, or you need to smash your comfort zone. You have to come for it. You have to be grilled for that, and you are ready for the next level of performance which you can exhibit once you have acquired those skills. So as a leader, your ability should be to push the team members beyond their comfort zone. They always are into the habit. Suppose you give them some certain challenge, or you give them certain things, you ask questions from them, immediately they will say, we have not done it earlier. हमने पहले तो नहीं किया ऐसा, ऐसे तो नहीं हो पाएगा, right? Why they are responding like this? Because they are enjoying staying into their comfort zone. A leader has to push them beyond their level of comfort zone. Then he can see the quality of output from them, because a person has to do a lot of hard work to sustain into the new assignment or new responsibility being delegated to them. So there is a relapse to the comfort zone. What is that relapse? All performances will initially trend towards a steady state, right? Whenever there is a performance uplift, after that we have a steady state of performance. At that steady state will develop a downward curve leading to a performance decline. If we are not pushed beyond our comfort zones and we stay at the steady level, you will observe slowly and gradually your performance will start declining. You can see it into this particular graph. Can you see this graph? The relapse to the comfort zone.
Yes,
right?
yes.
So here we have seen the first performance level and the second performance level, and the performance of an individual from low to high. He is at a steady state, and then once we have pushed them towards the transition or towards the new changes or towards a new assignment, you can see that there is an optimal performance zone of an individual, and he or she is giving the high performance. And finally, again, a period will come when he will again become comfortable in that zone. Now, a leader has to again give something new to push them towards beyond their comfort zone. Do you agree with all of you agree with me on this? You must have seen, suppose you are carrying out in your work in your respective departments, and the principals or the director suddenly they call you one day and give you certain new challenge or a new task or a responsibility. Somehow you become quite uncomfortable because you are not used to do it, and you are not very familiar with the kind of task being given to you, right? What he or she is doing, she is know that you are capable, and you will sustain whatever assignment has been given to you, and you will also work hard in order to prove your performance that you can do well in whatever challenges or assignments, new roles and assignments given to you. Right now you are into the teaching process, you are taking the classes. Suddenly I said that you have to compulsorily do a research project in your domain for the next 1 year. Compulsorily do one research project. Maybe research is not your forte. Now you will start attending the workshops where you try to see how to bid, how to write the proposals, how to submit the proposals, what should be the what kind of tools should be used, right? How you have to bid it financially. You will be coming out of your comfort zone, right? Am I right?
True, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Right?
Yes,
And
ma'am.
you read this, what I have written, move out of your comfort zone. You can only grow if you are willing to feel awkward and uncomfortable when you try something new. Right? When you are trying something new, you might feel sometimes awkward, you become uncomfortable, but ultimately you will grow as an individual. Right? So You have seen that curve of comfort zone. Whenever you are handling your teams, each of your team members should be pushed beyond their level of comfort zone to make their performance optimal, to make their performance to take them to a next level, to develop them, to nurture them, to equip them what is required into the environment, what is the need of the hour. You are pushing them beyond their comfort zone. Right? Is that clear to all of you?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am. And as a leader, when you are leading your respective domains or your respective areas and respective departments, keep this thing always in mind that whenever people are working with you, you have to push them, you have to nurture them, you have to grow them. Ultimately, it's the growth of the institution, it's the growth of an individual. The whole organization will grow as a whole. So that kind of philosophy or mindset has to be there into the founders as well, top management as well. If they feel that only we need to run 4 or 5 courses or maybe 10 courses in the university, right, and that's all, we should hire the teachers or the faculty and we should run the show. No, they because they have a vision in their mind and they want to develop people from time to time, and they are also sponsoring some of the candidates, some of the faculty for some certain workshops so that they can bring change into the existing system. Is that clear to all of you? I wanted to do one activity. I don't know whether time will permit me or not. So I'll just share the screen with all of you. Let me just hear your viewpoint, whether we can do that activity or not. So it's a leadership style activity, right? And you are all familiar that there are 3 styles of leadership: authoritarian, that is autocratic; participative; and the delegative, that is a free reign, laissez-faire. So there are 2 parts of the activity where I will be showing you certain situations, and you have to identify and you have to discuss among your groups which style of leadership will suit which situation, right? And the second part of the activity is, once you have worked into the group, then you have to work individually and you reflect upon what you have discussed in the group. Do you feel that whatever has been discussed, the style of leadership that has been discussed, is appropriate for that situation according to you? Had it been in front of you, what you would have done? So what do you say? Should we do this activity?
Not today, ma'am.
Not today. You're already, because you are already through with the sessions throughout the day. Yeah, I can understand. So I kept it at the last so that I wanted to understand whether you would like to go ahead with this kind of activity. We would have done it today itself. Right. So some of you are, I think they are, it's overdose for them for the entire day. Any questions which would you like to ask? Right. I would like to share before concluding. I would like to share my own experience because I am leading the academics and the student affairs at IHMR Delhi. So being at that position, how I am accomplishing things, how I am taking my team along with me, right? So I have, when I assumed this role, I started observing my team members very closely. I tried to see what they are good at, how they are good professionally, where they are lacking, if they are lacking in certain aspects, why they are lacking. I would look at their background, right? What experience they had previously, from which institution they have come previously. I need to groom them in those areas, right? And then we have taught them how to do the documentation of every procedure which is being related to the academics department. And we are also planning for a workshop where they should be taught formally how you have to do the office management, because it is very necessary how you keep the files, how you maintain the records, how you segregate different aspects related to student entries, right? So I have taken care and I would like to capacitate my team into different areas. I have always believed in, rather than pinpointing everything. I have given a lot of freedom to all my team members that they can experiment with new things, what comes to their mind in their respective domains, and they can discuss and they should move forward. So I have given that flexibility which they should come with an open mind into the institution and they start working freely. Sometimes I am little annoyed at certain activities. So what I do, I just call them one to one, address them, talk to them, tell what is acceptable and what is not acceptable into the office setting or office domain, right? And make it very clear into their mind. Ultimately, I'm concerned about the outcome, the assigned role which I have given to them. They should deliver their best into it. I have always believed that an individual comes with their positives and their limitations. I need to utilize their positives, ignore their limitations, take them along with you. I need to take them along with me. Then only I can grow. If I start blaming, if I start pinpointing, I will also recede. They will also recede. They will also not give their support. Suppose if I ask them to work on Sundays for a few months, I have seen that none of my team member has ever refused for that. They have always shoulder on whatever ma'am is saying. They are supposed to do that and they freely do it with their own will because they have seen that kind of comfort which I have provided, and sometimes I push them beyond their comfort zones as well. So this is where I have worked into that academia for so many years. I have learned so many aspects. I have worked into the corporate sector, and from the past 21, 22 years I am into this domain and I have dealt with the student experiences. Accordingly, I deal with the students. Sometimes I need to be very harsh, sometimes I have to be very strict, sometimes I show a lot of support, care and love which they require, because they are the only support system. When you require them, they stand by you. This is what my experience is. They will do anything for you when you have given or nurtured them in that particular way. So that's all from my side. Thank you so much for this particular session. Anything which you would like to discuss about this session?
Ma'am, kindly send the PPTs, ma'am, of today.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
I will send.
Very informative
Yes,
session.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Any other any experience you would like to share for yourself?
Hello, ma'am.
Yes, Surbi. And in the meanwhile, just a moment, Shikha, please share the feedback link into the chat window, and I'll just discuss it with the participants, the other aspects.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, Surbi, please tell me.
Ma'am, what you said about getting out of your comfort zone. Actually, I don't used to believe in that, but there was a story happened years ago. My father asked to me and my siblings that who is a king? What do you think a king's life is? Then me and my brother were like कि महल में रहते हैं, they have a good food, like 56 भोग खाते होंगे, they have a very comforting bed and all these things.
Right.
Then after hearing all this, my father says that ki Raja wo hai, the king is a person who has capability to stay out of his place with the soldiers time of the war.
Right.
Like he can sleep on the rocks when he have to in the war, and he is not always about eating that 56 bhog, special food. He have to manage eating some chapati, or he may have to be like he don't have to eat even sometime.
Right.
So the king is a person, is not what you guys are thinking. The king is a person जो अपने सिपाहियों के साथ भूखा भी रह सकता है, उनके साथ एक रोटी खा के भी बहुत अच्छे से लड़ सकता है और एक युद्ध को जीत सकता है. And that was the time I start believing कि yes, जब तक हम comfort zone से बाहर नहीं निकलते, हम productive नहीं हो पाते. We can be happy at our place, but we can be more productive when we are out of the home.
Exactly.
And ma'am, as I am from Bihar and I go out to Delhi for my graduation and post graduation, and that there I learned that when we are out of home, like here my family is taking care of me when I was sick, and they taking care of my food, like she's studying, let give him a milk or tea, but there was no one was there. I have to manage everything. So that was a very tough time, but the real success or the real achievement I made there. And
exactly.
So this is what I feel like. Yes, with in comfort zone we can't do anything. We have a good sleep only in a comfort zone.
For
Yes,
how
ma'am.
many days? For how many days? Right?
Yes, ma'am.
Your life become very monotonous, right? There is
Yes,
no
ma'am.
thrill, there is no fun, there is no enjoyment. You just feel like that it's just like everyday life. You are just carrying out your mundane activities, and that's all. The moment you
Yes.
take up some challenge, like yesterday, what we discussed, Surbi, when you said that you have a competition with the people who are from the technical background. So it's a
Yes.
challenging situation for you. Need to come out of your comfort zone. You need to compete with them. You need to be as equipped as these technical people are,
Yes,
and
ma'am.
you can do well.
Thank you.
Right? Thank you so much,
Yes.
Surbi. Right? I think, Sumeshji, that's all for today. They have done a lot of deliberations and we have discussed a lot with respect to the leadership. And I hope what the key takeaways from this today's session is that they should apply in their real life as well.
Exactly,
Really
madam.
excellent session, ma'am.
Yes,
Really wonderful.
Thank you.
this
Thank
is
you.
what I want to say. Actually, very interactive, particularly the way participants they interacted with you. I can understand that how much they enjoyed your session. So it's great. And Surbi, one thing is more, you are not at your home. Even I am not at my home at present. So basically, we have very senior colleagues with us, and generally he says कि अगर आसमान को छूना है तो ज़मीन छोड़नी पड़ती है, उड़ारी मारनी पड़ती है आपको. तो इट्स वंडरफुल. आपने जो बात कही कि आपने बहुत कुछ अचीव किया when you left your home for education, maybe for other purpose. So definitely that is for good. Great.
Yes.
So thank you so much, ma'am, for another wonderful session.
Thank
And
you.
really, even I enjoyed your session a lot, and I learned a lot during your session, madam. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Sumesh. Thank you, and wish you all a very lovely evening.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
I'll share the details. Don't worry.
Thank you, madam.
Thank you so much, participants, and I request you to please submit your feedback. That is important.
I've
And,
submitted, sir. So
that's
thank
great.
you so much. And could you please give me all your contact numbers, sir?
Sure.
All of-
What I'll say, I'll request Shikha ma'am to share in a single sheet everybody.
All the resource persons.
Exactly, madam.
First day resource person's contact I've already shared as you only requested that day. So
Yes,
kindly
ma'am.
check that particular mail, and the second and third day resource person details I will going to share.
Okay, ma'am.
Sumesh, sir.
Ma'am,
Sumesh,
it
sir.
will be better if you
Yes,
can take all the numbers and emails in one single paper, as sir has told.
No,
will
that
be...
I will, no, that I will do, but that was the first day, and you people were asking for
yes,
the
yes,
details.
you have
So,
shared that.
yeah,
We have got that, but
definitely.
if you please do
What I'll
this.
do is I'll send all the contact number at the last day.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. With your email IDs, ma'am.
Yeah, of
Please
course.
take this trouble for us.
Thank you
Sumesh,
so
sir.
much.
There's
Yes,
no problem.
Sumesh, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, please.
Sir, am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Sir, I want to make one exercise, sir, so that it will be useful for all the participants. It is a kind of a personality assessment.
Okay.
It will be helpful for all the faculties, all the participants, sir.
So please send me through mail. So in which session it will be suitable, we'll do that. Don't worry.
Yeah, that's why, sir. According to just, it will take hardly 10 to 12 minutes maximum.
Sure,
Just
sure.
they
Even-
should read the traits according to their suitable matches and convey the code, and that according to code characters are been revealed, sir.
Sure,
That's
sure.
all.
That we can do. Please send me through mail.
Sir, may I know your name, mail ID, sir?
Mail ID. Shikha ma'am.
Sir, I think in the PDF link, during the communication for this program, sir. I think I have seen your email ID.
It is
I
there,
can
yes.
track from there.
Okay, fine.
Huh?
And,
Fine, sir. I will mail you, sir, tomorrow morning.
Sure, sure.
According to your feasibility or based on time,
Sure.
you can
Otherwise,
frame it
during
and
lunchtime, yes, we can do that. Yes, no issue.
yeah, sir. Huh?
So actually, this is a very small word, and particularly the word of knowledge, as you are demanding email IDs and phone numbers of resource persons. So whatever relationship that we have developed during these 3, 4, or we will be developing during 5 days, that is that would be wonderful and important to keep in touch with each other, also with us also, so that so, you know, in this small world, wherever we think that yes, we can help each other, we should come forward
Yes,
and
sir.
help.
Yes, sir.
So it is important. So keep in touch, everybody, with each other.
Very
and with
truly
us
said,
also.
sir. Very truly said.
And as well as tomorrow's sessions are concerned, in the morning, Khokhan sir will be taking on decision-making skills. Then I'll be taking on positive thinking at workplace. And then as per one mandatory session on stress management and on meditation, Sister Monica will be there with us. She is Brahm Kumari, and she'll be sharing her wisdom with us. So this is what about tomorrow? That is mandatory session that we have to do as per AICTE norms, portal norms. Yes.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much.
I will mail you, sir.
Sure, sure. Thank you so much, and enjoy your rest of the day. We will meet tomorrow. Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Take care, sir. Thank you, sir. Bye.
Okay, thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you.